After the completion of Shenmue, Yu Suzuki had already begun finishing the next installment for the Dreamcast. The second game in the series promised to be bigger than the first game in terms of its size and scope. While Shenmue covered the first chapter in the Shenmue saga, Shenmue II would cover the second, third, and fourth chapters. Shenmue II provided many tweaks and ran on an enhanced graphics engine. The game officially launched on the Dreamcast in Japan and Europe in the fall of 2001, but it never got an official release in America. This was because 2001 was the same year Sega announced they would be discontinuing the Sega Dreamcast. At the same time, Microsoft was getting ready to launch the Xbox and bought the North American rights to Shenmue II, preventing the sequel from coming out on the Dreamcast in North America. The Dreamcast game became such a high demand among Shenmue fans that Electronics Boutique, now known as GameStop, offered imported copies of Shenmue II from Europe at their stores. For its time, Shenmue II was one of the most imported video games in North America. The game would finally get an official release in North America for the Xbox in October 2002. The story begins shortly after where the previous game left off. Ryo Hazuki has arrived in Hong Kong, particularly in the harbor town of Aberdeen. Upon arriving at Hong Kong, his first objective is to locate the Elder Master recommended by Master Chen, who goes by the name Tao Li Shou. Along the way, he meets a motorcycle-riding girl named Joy and a mischievous boy called Wang. They soon become friends with Ryo and help him get a better bearing on things in Hong Kong. When he tracks down Tao Li Shou at the Manmo Temple, he finds out that she is a woman who goes by the name Shu Ying. He tells her of his search for Zhu Yuanda and Lan Di, the man who murdered his father. Shu Ying believes Ryo is not ready to face Lan Di and proves it by easily defeating him in battle. Instead of telling him the whereabouts of Zhu Yuanda, she decides to train him at the Manmo Temple. One day, while looking through some books in the temple's library, Ryo finds a book on various martial arts written by Zhu Yuanda. In the book, there is a mention of Zhao Sun Ming, a master of the Tiger Swallow style. Ryo recalls Lan Di speaking of him before he killed his father. Going through the book, Ryo finds a small piece of paper with Zhu Yuanda's emblem. On the paper is a Chawan sign, a secret code used among masters of the same school. By aligning a set of teacups in a certain pattern, Ryo can get in contact with an associate of Zhu Yuanda. When he makes the Chawan sign at a local diner, he encounters Zhang, an informant who serves Zhu Yuanda. Zhang tells Ryo that Zhu Yuanda has gone into hiding to protect himself from the Chiyo men. Zhu Yuanda is currently being hunted by a man named Don Yu, the leader of the criminal organization known as the Yellowhead. Don Yu has a rival who goes by the name Ren of Heavens, whose base is located in Aberdeen. Ren may have some information Ryo can use to track down Zhu Yuanda's whereabouts. After a few run-ins with the Heavens gang, Ryo forces them to set up a meeting with their leader Ren. After meeting with him, Ryo is tricked into getting involved with some Yellowhead members while Ren gets away with their money. With the help of Joy and Wang, Ryo confronts Ren once again. Ren attempts to get away, but Ryo pursues him in a chase through a construction building until he manages to stop him. Ren discovers Ryo's Phoenix Mirror and becomes interested in Ryo's pursuit for Zhu Yuanda. He decides to tell Ryo that Zhu Yuanda can be located in the city of Kowloon and chooses to join him in his search. Before leaving for Kowloon, Ryo has one more meeting with Shu Ying. Shu Ying still believes that Ryo is not ready to face Lan Di, so she teaches him the counter elbow assault, a move that allows Ryo to avoid an enemy strike while adding power and momentum to his own attack. Shu Ying tells Ryo that she is concerned about him and fears that his pursuit for Lan Di will make him fall onto an evil path. Once Ryo arrives in Kowloon, he meets up with Ren at his hideout. They learn through Huang, a local wiretapper in Kowloon, that Yuan, Don Yu's cross-dressing partner, has captured one of Zhu Yuanda's men and planned to interrogate him in order to learn the whereabouts of Zhu Yuanda. So, Ryo and Ren decide to track down Yuan and follow him during a routine trip back to his apartment. Once there, Ryo ambushes Yuan, knocking him out. Ryo discovers that Yuan's captive was Zhang and takes him back to Ren's hideout. While recovering, Zhang tells them the location of Zhu Yuanda and asks them to look after him. Following Zhang's directions, Ryo discovers Zhu Yuanda's hideout and encounters the man himself. Before they can talk, they discover that Yuan has been following them along with the leader of the Yellowhead, Don Yu. Ryo gets separated from Zhu Yuanda and is forced into a battle with Don Yu. He's quickly defeated by Don Yu, but is saved at the last minute by Shu Ying. Rio wakes up and finds himself in an orphanage with Shu Ying. She tells him that when her parents were killed, her brother sought revenge and disappeared forever. Shu Ying believes that he may have fallen onto an evil path and fears the same will happen to Rio. Despite her warning, Rio feels that he must continue his journey. Back at Ren's hideout, Rio learns that Zhu Yuanda has been taken by the Yellowhead. Dan Yu was ordered by the Chiyo men to capture Zhu Yuanda and give him to Lan Di. In order to gain access to the Yellowhead's hideout, Rio must become a member of the Yellowhead. To do this, Rio enters into various street fights around Kowloon in order to attract one of their scouts. After gaining access to the Yellowhead building, Rio and Ren begin searching every floor to locate Zhu Yuanda. It isn't long until the Yellowhead gang learns of their intrusion and begins searching for them. Things get worse when Yuan comes after them with a chainsaw. However, Rio disarms him and manages to defeat him in combat. After dealing with Yuan, Rio becomes separated from Ren and must go on alone. Soon, he discovers Joy being held captive by a mysterious martial artist named Master Bai Hu. Once Master Bai Hu is defeated in combat, Rio frees Joy and heads to the top floor of the building where Zhu Yuanda is being held. When they get to the rooftop, Zhu Yuanda is about to get lifted away in a helicopter along with Lan Di himself. Before they can, Ren and Joy intervene, saving him from Lan Di. Ren distracts the rest of the grunts while Rio faces off against Dan Yu. Dan Yu uses his size to his advantage by charging at Rio. Rio is overcome until he recalls the move he learned from Shu Ying, the counter elbow assault. So, in one final move, Rio defeats Dan Yu once and for all. Once Dan Yu is defeated, Lan Di takes a look at Rio one last time before flying away in the helicopter. Once everyone is back at Ren's hideout, Rio has a discussion with Zhu Yuanda regarding the death of his father Iwao. According to Zhu Yuanda, Lan Di killed Rio's father because Iwao supposedly did the same to Lan Di's father. Lan Di's real name is Zhao Long Sun, and he is the son of Zhao Sun Ming, the man Lan Di believes Iwao killed. Zhu Yuanda doesn't know if Iwao really did kill him, but he knows that Zhao Sun Ming has died and Iwao brought Zhao's mirrors to Japan. Zhu tells them that when both mirrors are combined, they form a key to the treasures hidden away in order to revive the Qing dynasty. In the dark, the mirrors reveal a light pattern indicating the location of this treasure. However, one mirror isn't enough to discover its location. Zhu believes that Rio may find a clue to the mirrors by going to a village located in the region of Guilin, where the stone mirrors were made. With these instructions, Rio says farewell to his friends and leaves Kowloon. Before heading off to Guilin, he pays Shu Ying one last visit. Shu Ying gives Rio a pendant her brother gave her many years ago for Rio to remember her by. Rio tells Shu Ying that despite what she may think, he believes her brother is still alive out there before departing from Hong Kong. The next day, Rio arrives at a small village alongside a river in Guilin. He learns that Bailu village is located beyond the mountain path and begins to travel there on foot. Soon it begins to rain heavily and Rio spots a white deer trapped in the raging river. On the other side of the river, a girl following the deer dives into the river in an attempt to save it. Rio jumps into the river after her to save her from drowning herself. He wakes up the next day on the shoreside along with the girl and the white deer. The girl is named Shenfa and comes from Bailu village. She thanks him for saving them and agrees to guide Rio to her village. Along the way, Rio learns more about Shenfa and Bailu village while she learns more about him and where he's from. When they arrive at Shenfa's house on the outskirts of Bailu village, Rio notices a large tree by her house. Shenfa tells him that the name of the tree is Shenmue. The tree holds a special meaning to her as it has been there all her life protecting her. The flower of the Shenmue tree is called Shenfa, which is what she is named after. Once they rest up and get something to eat, Rio finds a diagram of the two stone mirrors in her father's room. Shenfa tells him that the diagram had been with her family for generations, but her father wouldn't tell her anything else. The mirrors were made from a stone found only in her village at a nearby stone pit. To learn more about the mirrors, they head to the stone pit where Shenfa's father has been working for the past few days. Along the way to the stone pit, Shenfa senses that something isn't right. They hurry to the stone pit, but when they get there, there is no sign of her father. Inside a hidden room, Shenfa finds a letter written to her by her father. The letter tells Shenfa that her destiny has come and that she must now follow the one who holds the phoenix. Along with the letter, her father has also left her a family sword. Together, the phoenix mirror and the sword reveal to them two enormous stone mirrors, one of a dragon and one of a phoenix, that have been carved into the cavern walls. Upon seeing this, Shenfa recites an ancient poem once told to her. According to the poem, she waits for a young man who comes from the east who will seek her out and brave the rocky path together with her. Their encounter would be a destiny predetermined since ancient times. Soon, Ryo and Shenfa come to understand the meaning of this poem and how the events it speaks of has already begun to go into motion. Those who were lucky enough to import the Dreamcast version of Shenmue II were happy to learn that the sequel improved upon the original in many ways. Fans and critics found the gameplay mechanics to be much tighter and the narrative to have more depth and a much better pace. Many who've experienced Shenmue II were eagerly looking forward to the next installment after the game's cliffhanger ending. Still, since the game was not dramatically different from the first game in its design, many people who were turned off by the first remained indifferent about the sequel. Microsoft and Sega hoped to change this when bringing it to the Xbox. They promised that the game would take full advantage of the Xbox hardware and push it beyond the Dreamcast version in sound and design. Unfortunately, what Xbox owners got instead was a game that still looked like a Dreamcast port. The updates mainly consisted of better lighting and another hilariously bad English voice cast. The Xbox version of Shenmue II came at a bad time for fans and newcomers. Fans who wanted the sequel played it on the Dreamcast, and newcomers wouldn't be interested because they come to a system known at the time for its action games like Halo or Splinter Cell. Ultimately, the Xbox version bombed in sales and was seen as a failure for Microsoft and Sega. Not exactly what was expected, what with Microsoft putting down a lot of money to get the game rights from Sega. With all this working against it, the chance of the franchise continuing in future installments appeared slim. What followed Shenmue would be an endless wait and confusion for fans wanting to see Ryo's adventure come to a conclusion. Next time, in part 3 of the Shenmue Retrospective, Ryo's adventures come to an immature end, but not before going through all kinds of development hell and fan determination. The series takes an unexpected turn that surprises all fans before veering completely off course. Meanwhile, the wait continues while a pair of fans decides to make their own conclusion to the beloved franchise.